So this is where they pass judgments to the offenders in the community. So they had to bring them down to the front of the shrine, and they call on the Voduno. That's the chief priest of the vacated shrine. So he was the one that prepared the traditional concoction and gave it to Richard Landa and Hugh Clapperton to drink. But to cut the long story short, they survived the ordeal because that wasn't their intention of visiting Badagry. So after the whole trial, they now summoned some guards to follow them to Katunga. That is Old Oyo Empire. This is the dungeon. This is where the unsold slaves were being kept.
As we ventured deeper, we got to the dungeon, underground cells where countless lives were reduced to mere commodities.
These stairs are not originally here before. So it was newly built for people to have access to this place. Yes, ma'am. The unsold ones were being kept here, pending another 5 market days. You understand? It's because they spend the market once in 5 days. They defecate here, they hit here, and they still shackle them down. Especially the strong ones, the ones that they know they fight against their masters.
The use of iron muzzles, arrow shackles, ankle shackles, and wrist locks gives us a glimpse into the brutal reality of what our ancestors endured. But the full extent of their suffering is better imagined.
We have them like 3 categories of them here. These ones are the arrow shackle slaves. They put these shackles on their neck. You understand? For them not to penetrate the door, not to break out the door. So, and over here too, we have these guard slaves. Normally, they use guards for wild animals, like horse, like dog. You understand? But then they use it for human being, for them not to communicate or not to bite their masters that will come down to feed them. Because sometimes they do, they used to be aggressive. So if their masters come, they attack them too. Because that's the only way they can fight. And these ones are just the older ones. I want to say Darugbo, because they believe those ones don't have strength to fight against their masters. So they will just chain them down with those chains on their legs and their hands.
If I thought they escape, why running into the forest? You see, the edges
will not
be
allow
entangled
with
by the branches of trees. So
Wow.
it will hold them down.
So it has a purpose?
Yes, it has a purpose.
Wow. And they will be captured?
Of course. They won't run too far. And all these shackles were very, very heavy. Not lightweight shackles.
Yes. But yet, they were not produced here in Africa.
Yes, they were brought by the Europeans.
This is a terrible experience for the ancestors, and it shouldn't happen again. Never again. Never again. The horrible scene left us arguing about the unimaginable suffering endured by those who came before us. All we could say was, thank God we weren't born at that time.
Somebody with shackles like that.
Everyone's not light. So even if they see gutter water, they want to taste.
While many have documented the dark history of the slave trade in Badagry, few have shed light on the triumphant story of its abolishment. We are also here to be told how this practice was finally brought to an end. All roads lead to Aoviko quarters. Within the quarters lies the Wawu compound, a landmark of immense historical importance, the spot where the slave trade was officially abolished, freeing countless lives from bondage.
This cannon gun you are looking at here in Badagry was a gift to the Wawu family. In 1843, slave trading was going on, but the Wawu family supported the abolition of the slave trade. People hardly talk about Africans that supported the abolition of slave trade. When we talk about slave abolitions, Africans were involved, because here in Badagry we have 8 quarters, and Europeans of different countries were with different quarters in Badagry that they were doing slave trading. But this family was against them. So they incited their partner against the family, and other families, they were against slave trading. Of course. So this, we call this canon gun of abolition. So it wasn't as if Europeans just came, and of course they did a lot, we understand. Like William Wilberforce, Granville Shaville, and the rest of them. They did a lot, but they were Africans. They supported the abolition. They were against slave trading. The British Union Jack was first hosted in Badagry in 1843. And the significance of this well is that the family dug the well on the spot that the British first hosted the Union Jack, for them to keep the memory. And one of the reasons why the Union Jack was first hosted here was because of the family's involvement in the abolition of the slave trade.
In April this year, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu reiterated his commitment to making Badagry a tourist attraction during the tour of the ancient town and visit to heritage sites.
It's really to just make, Lagos and Badagry in particular a tourist destination, for all of our international and local audience to know that we're ready, we're fit, and we're going, across another point, the water, to see for ourselves, the entire journey around slavery, and how Christianity came to the country, how it birthed in Badagry and the rest of it.
So these are the artistic impressions of the slave market just left. So that's the dedicated slave market in Badagry. So this is the slave market in Zanzibar. These are rejected slave market. So this is how you can see how the level at which the Africans were reduced to.
He said his administration will complete ongoing projects in Badagry and restock some of the heritage sites so that they can tell a compelling story of Badagry's place in Nigerian tourism.
It's really part of our tourism ecosystem. At Badagry, I wanted to come and see things for myself. What are the things we have done? What are additional things we've spoken about that we need to do? How do we intentionally make Badagry and all of the tourism potential that it has a real destination. We also went to the old governor's lodge, where you saw that there is a purpose-built 70-room hotel complex there. And so for us is to complete the ongoing projects that we've seen, to also restore some of the heritage sites that we've seen, and not to completely deface it, just to restore them and to generally just preserve what we have.
The governor's wife, Ibijoke, also led the committee of wives of Lagos state officials, council, to Badagry, enabling them to see key historical landmarks in the town.
One another, like 12 of them will be on a single farm while they march them down to the farm. When they get to the farm in the morning, in order for them to work properly, they use this one person's leg, another person's leg, and they padlock it together. This one is used for any slave that tries to escape. This would have been in the fire, it's red hot. They use the sharp edge to pierce and pin their foot down to a tree on the farm. And this is used for their mouth, so as for them not to eat or to communicate with one another while working on the farm. They perforate their two lips with a very hot iron. They force it out of this place and they padlock it together. This will not allow them to talk or to eat from the farm produce. This is used for the little children. They use this to chain like 5 or 6 children together. They put them down somewhere so that they don't disturb their parents. While this is used for any stubborn slave, they break the bones here, they force their hand into this hole, and they lose this knot, they tie it to a very tall tree, while they suspend their legs from the ground. These are the money they spend in those days. These are called cowrie shells. This money were not recognized by the whites. So they bring items like gunpowder, bottles, mirror in exchange for slaves. Then they exchange a bottle of dry gin for 10 slaves. And this is a cannon gun. This cannon gun is shot 3 times in those days. The first one in the morning tells you the slaves are going to the farm. The second one in the afternoon tells you the slaves are coming, while the third one at night is a curfew that nobody should be found outside again. And this is where the slaves have their drinking water. They chain their 2 hands to the back, they tie their 2 hands to the back, and they beg to lap water like animals. Any one of them who could not bend will be given 7 handfuls of water for the day.
It's an opportunity to showcase Lagos. It's an opportunity to create awareness for quite a number of Lagosians that live in Lagos but don't even really understand and explore the beauty of Lagos and the potential inside Lagos.
From the Badagry Heritage Museum to the site of the fallen Agia tree, where Christianity was first preached in 1842, to the first-story building in Nigeria, the first Christian burial site, Seriki Abbas Brazilian Barracoon, Bereful Island, to the point of no return, Badagry is undoubtedly a town rich in history. Not only is Badagry steeped in history and culture, it's also an ideal destination for those seeking relaxation and serenity. The town is reputed for its scenic beauty, landscapes and warm hospitality, making it a perfect gateway from the hustle and bustle of the city life. This is one of the chill-out zones in Badagry.
This floating relaxation center is situated on Lagos Badagry Port Novo Lagoon. The lagoon stretches as far as Benin Republic and Togo. Its connection to the creeks into the hinterlands aided the movement of slaves to the coasts.
We climbed to the top of the tree house to unwind and enjoy some leisure time. The Badagry dance can be so energetic. Its intricate steps have a way of captivating me.
Well, that has been our journey to the ancient city of Badagry, where history is not just a relic of the past, but a living testament to the strength and resilience of the human spirit. Many thanks for being there. I'm Adedoja. Salam Adeni. Next week is another date on Inside Lagos.
Magoons they know, youth them know it. They couldn't be a malo no get it, malo record. Talk about mainland, talk about security, talk about island, talk about good road, talk about some wood, talk about good life. Some wood lily, let's see what you lily, come on, I see lily, some wood lily, yeah. Okira for some wood, I see deputy.